Nintendo, listen to me. I know I'm a crazy genius, but part of that crazy is the genius part. Oh, that's awesome. What is up, guys? I am Perfectly Frank, and welcome back. It's good to see you guys again. With the Nintendo Switch event just days away, we are on the brink of Nintendo possibly announcing the Nintendo Switch Pro, which hopefully will bring us a lot of features that we've been wanting for quite some time now. Now, this little guy was quite innovative. The original Nintendo Switch was an awesome console. If you're wondering what all these little extra wires are on the back of my Nintendo Switch, you should go check out my video that I just made about some personal modifications that I made to my Switch because I didn't want to wait for Nintendo. I thought I would add features that I want right now. Go check that video out after you're done watching this one. Don't go now. There's a lot of exciting stuff coming. So even though the original Nintendo Switch was pretty cool, it had a lot of unique, interesting designs, there's a big problem with it. You guys remember this? Yeah, it's the Nintendo Wii U. Now, does this look familiar at all? See anything here? One of my biggest problems, even though I love my Nintendo Switch, was I thought it actually took a bunch of steps backward in terms of the capability of Nintendo's last console. So in this video, I'm going to go over my list of features that I hope Nintendo brings to the Nintendo Switch Pro that for some reason they just left out of the original Nintendo Switch. I get it, not all of these are feasible. A lot of them are not even likely to happen, but a guy can dream, right? If I can think of it and I know it's possible, why can't Nintendo do it? So first and foremost, obviously, we want better graphics. NVIDIA, AMD, they've all been coming out with newer, better processors, and I think that's a given. The Nintendo Switch Pro will have better graphics. Can we push it to 60 frames per second at 4K? I don't know about that. It's probably unlikely, but that'd be great. Can we push it to 120 frames per second? I would love it. Let's do it. Why not? The Xbox Series X and the PS5 both do that. Granted, I know this is meant to be a portable console. It's going to have much less graphical power, but still, if they can do it, boy, would this thing sell. Now, also due to the global chip shortage, I know even if they're able to do that, this thing is going to be in short supply. It's going to be hard to get your hands on one. So I'm not holding my breath for 120 FPS at 4K, but again, this is a dream wish list, so I want that feature. Of course, it'd be great if a Nintendo Switch Pro had Bluetooth audio. I know that the original Switch does have Bluetooth because it uses it for the Joy-Cons, but it's unusable for audio, which kind of blows my mind. Like, what modern console doesn't have wireless audio capabilities? So I would love to see just standard Bluetooth 5.0 integration into the Nintendo Switch for audio headsets. While we're on the topic of audio, of course, better stereo speakers would be a great addition to the Switch. Right now, the sound quality is okay, but the speakers are pretty small. I want to put big, fat stereo speakers so when you're gaming on the go, you can hear everything loud and clear. I would love to see a headphone jack in the Pro controller. Right now, if you're using a wired headset, you have to be sitting right next to the Switch, which is kind of ridiculous. It would be very convenient if they had a 3.5mm jack or even USB-C to audio right out of the bottom of the controller. That would be perfect, so convenient. Nintendo, make it happen. It's not that hard. As well, I would love to see a microphone just built right into the Switch or into the controller. That way, if you don't want to play with a headset, but you still want to use team chat and talk to people, you could do it from your controller or directly from the Switch if you're not even using a Pro controller. I don't want to have to open up my iPhone app to connect to the Nintendo chat. That's like so clunky. It like kind of is innovative, but it's also just unnecessarily complex. Like, really, Nintendo? Come on. Obviously, one of the big rumors is that we're going to get a bigger screen on the Nintendo Switch, and that would be great. The current size of the Switch is pretty good. I don't know if I necessarily want them to increase the footprint of the console, but these bezels are gigantic. If they could find a way to just stretch it all the way, make it basically bezel-less, and push the display all the way to the edge, That would make the display a lot bigger without increasing the footprint of this console. That is something I really hope for. In terms of resolution, I don't know that we need something better than 720 on the display itself, but of course, when you're pushing it to your television, we need higher resolution. While we're on the topic of the physical hardware, I would of course love to see better Joy-Cons coming with the console. These are not very ergonomic to hold. They kind of hurt your hand for long playing sessions. As well, these are digital thumbsticks. I would love to see analog, something that has a little bit more travel, is a little bit better. When I'm playing a game that requires more precision, these tiny little joysticks are really kind of hard to use. So I would prefer something that's a little bit more usable. As well, it would be great to see an actual D-pad. The Switch Lite has a D-pad because these don't come off for portability. And again, I love the ingenuity of being able to take these everywhere. But still, for someone that wants to actually have a D-pad, it would be great to have like Pro Joy-Cons that have D-pads and you just use for when you're gaming on the go. As well as the askewed layout would be able to change then too, because you could have a Pro Joy-Con and you could have, just like on here, the joysticks in the same configuration on both sides, then having to have them be like slightly askew and off-center. Again, these are just my thoughts. There's a USB-C port right there. Why can't we just pump audio through that? Now let's get into some of the things that I think were steps backwards when Nintendo went from the Wii U to the Switch. So these are pretty similar looking consoles, right? But this console, aside from graphical power, is actually a lot more capable than this little guy. For one, this has a stylus, but no one really cares about that. I don't think we need a stylus. Regular touchscreen capacitive touch is just better. But this, for one, has a camera. Wouldn't it be great if Nintendo put a camera on the Nintendo Switch Pro for game streaming, for just taking pictures? I can't tell you how many times I just wanted to take a picture with my Switch, like I can on my phone. It'd be so cool to have the same social functionality that the Nintendo Wii U had, where I could take pictures, I could upload my user profile, I could send them to people. I don't know. Again, is it necessary? No. But I hate it when companies take away features that they already gave us. Why not keep those same features on the Switch? It's right here. If we had a webcam on the Switch Pro, that would make Twitch integration and streaming integration so easy. You wouldn't need a setup. You would literally have your webcam right there. You could go live and you could stream. And as someone that does some Twitch streaming myself, I think that would be amazing. If you had a camera on this thing, you could also use it for video calls. I know we've all been telecommuting. Zoom has basically become our lives. How dope would it be if you could actually do Zoom on your Nintendo Switch? You wouldn't need a laptop. You could carry your phone and your Switch. And between those two things, you could do everything you needed to do. Like, it's right here, man. Let's make this happen. Nintendo, listen to me. I know I'm a crazy genius, but part of that crazy is the genius part. The other feature on my Nintendo Wii U that I miss on my Switch is the IR control, the ability to control your television from your console. For those of you that don't have a Wii U or never did, right here there's an IR blaster. That means that this is actually a universal remote control to control my television. So if you turn it on, you can see the immediate interface that comes up is channel, volume. You can even change the input. Apple TV, I'm looking at you. This is awesome! Wouldn't it be sick if I could control my television without having to set down my Nintendo, pick up another controller? God, I already have 15 remote controls. Why do I need another one? Why do I have to expend the effort of setting something down and picking up another device? It's so 1987. I would love to see Nintendo bring back this functionality, put an IR blaster on the Switch, and allow it to control your television. Again, we already had this feature, why take it away? Do you know how cheap an IR blaster is to put on your device? It's kind of not a big deal to integrate. Then again, Android phones used to have IR blasters too, and we're getting rid of that, so who knows? It's not just Nintendo that's going backwards. I already mentioned how I would love Twitch integration if we had a webcam. But even if we didn't have a webcam, it'd still be great to have Twitch built into the Switch. Twitch built into the Switch. In that regard, I know you would need a webcam if you wanted to see the person who's playing, but just like on PlayStation, you can stream with Twitch integrated without a webcam and you're only showing the gameplay, so that would be great. Along with Twitch integration, I would love to see Amazon Prime Video as well as Netflix come to the Switch, because right now we only have Hulu, and I like Hulu and YouTube, of course, but why are those other streaming services missing? They were also on the Wii U, and they're even on the 3DS, so why don't we have Netflix or Prime Video? In fact, I would just love to see a full-fledged web browser. Some of you smart gamers out there will be quick to point out that the Switch does have a hidden web browser built in, but it's kind of hacky. You have to trick the Switch in order to access it properly, and it doesn't really have full-fledged web browser capability. It'd be nice to just throw in a web browser and then you could browse the web, go to any website, surf your local news, whatever you want to do. Why not? It's a computer. It can do the functionality. Why are you limiting us, Nintendo? You're not my dad. Don't tell me what to do. One of the biggest features that I miss, that I think was a step backwards, going from the Wii U to the Nintendo Switch, was the wireless video capabilities. This little guy, you could play mobile on the actual screen itself, or you could hit a button and wirelessly send it to the television. Granted, this can do sort of that feature, but you don't do anything wireless. You walk up, place it in its dock, and then this sends the signal to the television. What I'm proposing here is a Nintendo Switch Pro dock. The dock would have Pro features, just like the Wii U did. So let's say I'm gaming mobile. I got my Switch, I'm gaming, I'm killing some people in Apex Legends, I'm collecting some hearts in Zelda. Now I want to switch it to the television. I don't want to have to walk up to the dock and pop it in. I want to be able to hit a button and wirelessly send my video from the Switch to the dock. Now, if this is too graphically intensive, then maybe the resolution will stay the same. So you're playing at 720 on here, you send the video stream wirelessly to the dock, it stays in 720. So you still get a bump up in resolution if you actually physically put it in the dock. But the fact is, Nintendo did this years ago with the Wii U. So there's no reason why the dock can't be smart enough to have wireless video capabilities so that you could play whether it's docked or not. Essentially, all the Wii U is a less powerful Nintendo Switch with a more powerful dock. That's all it was. So let's blend the two. Let's find the middle ground. Let's merge both the concepts and have the best of both worlds. If that idea interests you, you definitely should check out my other video. And last, certainly not least, but is probably the most unlikely to happen. What does this look like when I remove both Joy-Cons? I'll give you a hint. This is not that much bigger than my iPhone 12 Pro Max. It's a little bit bigger, it's a little thicker, but for the most part, this is pocketable. Screen's about the same size. I don't know. I look at this and I see a phone. I think it would be revolutionary if the Nintendo Switch Pro was just a phone. The Nintendo Switch phone, the Nintendo phone. Put cellular capability in here, give it a chip with connectivity so that you're connected to 3G, 4G, 5G all the time. Then you can always play online and you don't need Wi-Fi. And this would be so cool. If this was just a phone, I could make phone calls from it, I could run apps for those of you that don't know, this already runs on a modified version of Android. So it would be really easy for Nintendo to just unlock the full Android suite, let you run Android apps, and then also jump into your Nintendo Switch and play. Like, that would be so cool. Especially with all these lawsuits going on right now between Microsoft and Apple and Epic and not allowing games on the App Store. I already have an Android phone for doing cloud gaming on my Xbox. If I had this as an Android phone that could run Android apps, it could do cloud gaming for Microsoft Xbox, but it could also play Switch games, it was just all built in and integrated, that's a freaking game changer. No one's done that. I don't know why Nintendo hasn't done that. So at the top of my wish list, it would be friggin' amazing to just see the Nintendo Switch Pro launch as the Nintendo phone. Take notes, Nintendo. You're welcome. This size is somewhere between the iPhone 12 Pro Max and an iPad mini. It's definitely pocketable. Come on. We've also already seen adapters that basically turn Android phones and iPhones into a Nintendo Switch by docking controllers on the side for mobile gaming. I'll have some links listed down in the comments that basically turn your phone into a Nintendo Switch. So why can't the Nintendo Switch be a phone? Now you see where I'm going with this? I know, guys, sorry, I'm getting that crazy look in my eyes again. Forgive me. Anyway, guys, that's been it. Thanks for listening to my rants. I hope you like some of these ideas. I think they're pretty creative ideas. I think they'd be pretty easy to implement, and I'm not even an engineer. Well, I didn't go to school for engineering. If you like some of these ideas, please give me a thumbs up. It helps support the channel. And leave a comment down below what your favorite feature is. What feature are you most looking forward to coming to the Nintendo Switch Pro? Are you gonna buy a Pro, or do you not even care? Are you happy with your current Nintendo Switch? Are you happy with a Switch Lite? What's your idea on all of this? Please discuss below. As always, thank you guys for watching. I'm pretty excited about what Nintendo is going to announce, so if you're not subscribed already, go ahead and hit that button because I'm going to be making more content around everything Nintendo coming up in the near future. I appreciate you guys, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.